Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen, Davide. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Hello and welcome. Willkommen. Willkommen in. Willkommen be with you in a minute. I didn't realize I was bilingual, but it turns out I am already. Look at this, going well. So welcome along to another podcast. Sorry, my phone's ringing already because obviously no one in my life realizes I live stream. No one really realizes I live stream, so that's absolutely fine. Welcome to the podcast and the live stream version of it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can get involved in the comment section. Proper memes already there. It says here and ready to heckle the new improved improv almost daily show. It's still almost daily. You know what? We're looking like we're going to do 3 this week because I should be free tomorrow. And of course it's improv. Of course it's improvised. No one would write this. So what we're going to do is start off with a look at the front pages. Then we go into the newspapers. Your comments always welcome all the way through it. If you're listening on the podcast version, you can track me down on social media at Mr. Stephen Allen. We'll do the other plugging things at the end. So let's start off. Front pages. Got the front pages back. There's not loads to do today. I'm not going to do like all the front pages. It gets a bit too much because obviously you just know what it is, don't you? If you've not worked out what the main story is going to be. Trump's second state visit. The special bond is the headline. Why? Sorry, someone's actually going crazy in my things here. Wowzers. So I should put that on silent, but I need it for the bit that happens in the front pages. I'd planned one thing and it's gone wrong now. The special bond is the front page of The Sun, and do you know what? If that's who's playing him next time, I will not watch the films. The Bond girl's a bit of all right, though. Preferred Diana, but that took a turn, didn't it? No one expected that to be the take on it. So the special bond. Prez hails UK at banquet and band plays 007. Yeah. So there we go. You're up to date with that story. There's less to talk about here on the front page. Well, the Daily Telegraph, that picture, it's that same picture. I tweeted saying it looks like the remake of The Usual Suspects has gone downhill. But the story below it, 1 in, 1 out deal blocked by a Home Office-backed charity. You say that, but, and this is what we needed this for. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at that. When there's no face involved, it will zoom in. First 1 in, 1 out migrant sent back to France. First migrant has been sent back to France under the 1 in, 1 out deal. Now, that's the 1 out. The 1 in status might still not quite be what we're talking about, but there we go. A man was removed this morning, and the flight has already landed in Paris because they're flying. And you know my take on that. We should be using the small boats because at some point they might fix the issue of people coming over here in small boats and how many go back. What about the boats? Because we're just going to end up, because it's going to be landfill, because I don't know if you can recycle. I don't even know which box you'd put an inflatable dinghy thing in. So are we going to recycle these boats? I don't think we are. We should be sending them back to France. And that's going to be the platform that I stand on. Farage has realised you talk about migration. It's very good politically. I'm talking about recycling. I'm going to make this an issue of the eco-left and see how we get on with that. It's not the stupidest idea. It's a stupid idea, but it's not the stupidest idea. Proper Meme says they've been shipping the boats back to France for years. Is that what we do? Do we ship the boats back? We should be packaging them up and selling them on Vinted or something, right? What we've got here is the front page of The Star. Heir to the throne. Back to that story again. King tells Trump to beware sword. Walks in front of monarch again. But he's allowed to, isn't he? Everyone on social media was going, oh, he's walking in front of the monarch. Isn't that what happens? Because it's the inspecting the troops and it's the guest of the monarch. So the monarch stands there and sends the underling off, the pleb off. Basically, everyone's a pleb. If you're the king, everyone's a lowly, isn't they? This is the thing. The thing I've realised is that I know we've got the politics happening now, so maybe there will be some sort of Trump-Star. Everyone's talking about the Trump-Starmer relationship. The Trump king is the one he's after. Because surely Donald Trump sees himself less of the on a par with the elected official Starmer and more on a par with the monarch. Well, we'll see, won't we? But it's this story. Drink and live longer is on the front page of a national newspaper. Bear that in mind. I've got the actual story from inside the paper. We'll talk about that shortly. So that'll be your front pages sorted. Let's get deep. Before we get deeper into it, there's another thing I've prepared. Not deliberately, but I it's the opposite of a sponsor bit. I laughed about getting sponsorship for this podcast. This is the opposite of a sponsor bit because I get through a lot of energy drinks. I've got 2 kids, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and my job means working late and driving back even later. So you can imagine how it's trimming decades off my life. But I get tired and I need energy drinks. And I've been through them all. Over there, I've got a drawer with some weird ones I ordered online. I'm not really sure what they've probably got, like bits of tiger in them and stuff like that. There's, horny goat weed or whatever that is. Is that the one that ruins houses if it grows near? That's Japanese knotweed. Get very confused between the two. I think I've done this joke before, but the thing I don't like about Japanese knotweed is it's badly titled because it is a weed. But I have here in my hand the kind of thing I've seen sponsored loads of content that I watch, and I thought, I'll buy one. I was in like a pound shop or something. And I've drunk all of the bad energy drinks. And I actually bothered to try Huel. Get rid of this so you can actually see it. Huel, and I have to be honest, I've never tasted anything so bad in my life. And I've tasted a lot of bad things. I was at university, so I had to cook for myself. So this has all your daily A to Z vitamins. Is there a vitamin Z? Is there? I think there might be like A to K. Is there a... Stay there, we're Googling it. Are there any vitamins beyond K? Right, hang on. Need to open up a browser. They should have done it before, but it didn't. It's fine. I know we could get someone saying it in the section. Also, I've redone my computer, and so now it's all... I updated my phone and my computer, and the computer's now all different, and my phone looks different as well. I don't like change. Is there a vitamin M? Shall we? There is no vitamin M. So there we go. We definitely know that we're up to... It doesn't get past halfway through the alphabet. Huel, you lied to us. You made Huels of us all. Wrong one. This one. So there you go. Wouldn't recommend it. It's the opposite of a sponsor bit. Meanwhile, Proper Means in the comment section says Japanese nutweed enhances your virility. Take your word for it. Let's do this.
Let's get inside the news.
Even the jingle skips now since I've updated Windows 11. Let's go with this one, actually. We might just zoom in for this one. Great. Thank you, Daily Mail, for making something bigger than my actual zoomed-out picture can handle. The Manjaro mirror effect, how fat jabs helped us love our reflections once again. Slim-down Brits are falling back in love with their reflection in what experts have dubbed this mirror effect. 83% of those on the weight loss injections reportedly feeling happier to look at themselves in a mirror. Is that the reason you didn't look in a mirror? Isn't that meant to be shame or something? If you can't look yourself in the eye. But now, yeah, this story is people are a bit thinner and think they look better. Okay, well, I'm glad you bothered wasting not just a normal amount of paper, but enough paper that you were too wide to get in my wide shot. Thank you, Daily Mail. What's this one? While we're doing ranting. Taxpayers have handed nearly £2 billion to fat cat shareholders of privatised firms. Look, it's a think tank, Commonwealth, so I'm sure they've got some bias in this, but also they've done the maths. And I guess that is 200 billion that we could have kept. There might have been some savings because efficiency is the other side of the argument, isn't it? If you keep things as public firms, they're inefficient. Would we have wasted 2 billion? I don't know. But we certainly need to get over this idea that all privatisation is good. All privatisation is bad. This is why I don't have a successful career. I refuse to take one side of an argument and shout it loudly on pundit spots. Because if you think all privatisation is bad, you're wrong. Because you're wrong. I remember growing up, and I'm quite old now, I think it was the post office or something that was in charge of the phones, and then it becomes British Telecom, and that meant if you wanted a second phone, this is the reason my parents gave me as a reason why I couldn't have a second phone, like phone line in the house, is you had to wait something like 6 months for someone from British Telecom to come around and install it. You had to wait months for the installation of another phone. These days, you can go into town to a vape shop, buy some dodgy burner phone, make your call, throw it away after. Not that I do that. I don't even vape. Shush. You've got a burner phone, not me. But the point is, it's better now, isn't it? Now that telecommunications are just, it's easier to just do that. Meanwhile, they shouldn't have privatised water because the only reason privatisation works is you increase competition. What are you going to drink instead of water? Good luck with that one. I mean, if that's what it was, if if they'd privatised water and then you ended up with another set of pipes and it was like water and Vimto, and it's up to you. You want to bathe in Vimto, do whatever you're going to look interesting, aren't you? But you could bathe in Vimto if you want to. Then that would be some competition. But it's basically, that one substance that you definitely need to not die. Since life was created in oceans, and then we made it to land by keeping oceans on the inside. That's why we made up so much of water. You know that thing? Got to privatise it. Good luck with that. Before we move on to the next one, little shout out to Chris, who's made it into the comment section. Made it. He's been watching these late by not getting the alerts on time, but he's with us now. Strap in. Could be a good one. Depending on... let's have a look. We've done that one. Well, let's go straight into the news you wouldn't expect coming from me. Let's try and see. Are we zoomed in? Oh, it just about fits in the zoomed in version. Lily Allen is in the news. Now, normally, Lily Allen's in the news and she said something on Twitter and it's a bit left-wing, so everyone gets all upset. It's like the Gary Lineker effect. You could not pay attention to her. I've got no idea what she's been tweeting, and I live a rich and full life. This time, I got sympathy for Lily Allen. Lily Allen had to make an embarrassing admission on the first day of rehearsals for some play she's in. She acts now, by the way. Speaking about the cast's voice coach, the pop singer and actress, everyone's got to have two jobs, says she was like, and she's using it in the young person way. Even though she's 40, she's using like a young person. I would just like everyone. Now, that's in quote marks. So this bit is the voice coach saying it, who's using like in the proper way. I would just like everyone to feel the space and want you to hit the back of the room. Again, she doesn't mean hit in that way. So if you just take your favourite Shakespeare monologue and just shout it to the back of the room. And I was like, this is Lily Allen using like a Gen Zer again, even though she's millennial. I don't know any Shakespearean monologues. And that was embarrassing. I don't think that should be seen as embarrassing, because I don't know any either. Do you? Are you that fancy that you can judge Lily Allen for this? If someone said to me, go for it, Steve, Shakespearean monologue. I even did a Shakespearean play at school. I can't remember a full monologue from that. I was Antipholus of Ephesus, which I got some cream for. But what would you do if someone said to you, no, go and do your Shakespearean monologue? Would you just admit that you didn't know one, or would you have a crack at it? Because you kind of vaguely know a bit of it, don't you? Kind of, a boy stood on the burning deck, his pocket full of crackers. Now that's... Because I'd aim for it and I'd go wrong. There once was a woman from Nantucket. No. I could do the... I'm pretty good at... I can't even remember it now. The Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? 'Tis Juliet the East. And there's something about the sun. Arise, fair sun, and smite thine... Are you getting this at the back of the room? Of course not. So I have sympathy for Lily Allen. Not often anyone says that. Speaking of people you don't have sympathy for, let's do some Trump coverage. Zoom in on this bad boy. There they go. Picture of two of them. If you're listening online, that's Will and Don, according to the caption. Guess they didn't have a lot of space in the newspaper. Donald Trump appeared to tell Prince William, it's been a while since you chatted with me. Forensic lip reader Nicola Hickling reckons that they call him the Orange Man, baby. There's no need to start that fight, is there? Says he's missed our little chats. Look, in Will's defence, he's trying to distance himself from good friends of Epstein. If ever there's one family where it's a bit of an issue, don't take it personally, Donald. He's just trying to not chat with Epstein mates anymore. The same reason why there might be a bit of an awkward conversation when it comes round to Keir Starmer. In fact, we've not even covered this on this. I tried to write a Substack, but I've been busy. I wanted to so much because people broadcast the picture of Donald Trump and Epstein on Windsor Castle and got arrested for it. And I don't know, because I'm such a free speechy guy. I think it's free speech, isn't it? Because it's not like you painted anything or defaced anything. That's definitely a crime. Should you be arrested for... What have you've put some photons on it, haven't you? If you've projected an image, no damage has been done. No swearsy words, it's just pictures of two friends. They're arrested for malicious communication, and I guess maybe projecting is communication. Feels like a sticky wicket. But it would be bigger... it would be smaller of an issue if it weren't for the fact that the big topic is free speech. And we're being told off for putting people in prison for tweets. Donald Trump, he's had it up to here with us. He's sick of Farage going over there going, they've done another one. They've arrested a comedian this time. So what do? We get someone who projects an image of Donald Trump doing something that, I guess has some issues with with its context, or not. Either way, just an actual picture that exists. Gets arrested for it. I'm a bit of a free speechy guy. In the comment section, it's catching up here. Lost her shirt as well, says Proper Memes. We talk about Lily Allen. Did she? Oh my struth! Look at this. This is how much I'm a grown man who's lost. I'm too tired to notice. I hadn't even noticed she didn't have a shirt on. Or she's reached that age where she's leaving the house going like that. Do you know what I mean? It's if anything, it's embarrassing. She wants to get herself checked. Chris says water is there for adding to whiskey. Well, that's the privatised side of it. Orange Man Baby, surely that's Harry. Says Proper Memes. Yeah, there is that, and it would fit in the context too. And Alex is watching. Well, good. Thank you for being in the comment section. Back into some of the news. Remember earlier, and Alex, if you've just tuned in, same for Chris Hood, you might not realise there was a story on the front pages of the Daily Star saying, drink more, and they mean alcohol, drink more alcohol to live longer. Would you like to find out the story behind it? Pub boss says drink more for a longer life. Weatherspoon's boss, Tim Martin, has told Brits that if they want to live longer, they should drink more. Well, maybe you've got skin in the game. Do you know what I mean? If an ice cream van went down the street playing a song about live longer, eat ice cream, it feels like you are not a trusted narrator on this one. Or it's a threat, isn't it? If you want to live longer, why don't you buy some of my products? It'd be an awful shame if something was to happen to you. Do you know what I mean? It's got protection racket written all over it. But the pub chain founder and chairman, 70, claimed the longest-lived nations all enjoy a tipple, citing Frenchwoman Jean Clement, who reached 122 and reportedly drank every day. Point one, he's got skin in the game. He's trying to flog more booze. He flogs booze for a living and he says drink booze. Come on, you wouldn't fall for it from a biscuit company. Why would you from here? Point two, and I don't think you can sue me that first one. That's all out there in the public domain facts. You could sue me for this. Have a look at him. Is that the face of a man who you think, he's going to make it to 122? Look at him. Look at it. Look at that strapping young lad. I'm not sure. But the Frenchwoman, Jean Clement, is, there we go. She's, Robert Winston's looking worse, isn't he? Jean Clement is, I've talked about this before as well, how I love these stories of old people and they say, what's the secret to living a long life? They always say stuff like that, because if they said it's exercise and eating healthily, there is not a newspaper in the land that would print that rubbish. No one wants that story. What's the secret to living to 115? Oh, I take lots of vitamins and have done calorie restriction, and every so often I get a blood transfusion from a young person. If that were the story, I wouldn't touch you with a barge pole. But when they sit there going, oh, drink every day, smoke every day, sex less than it used to be, but then we print that story and it ignores statistically all of the people who drink every day and die in their 30s, 40s, 50s, who really skew down the average. But Tim Martin, I suppose, presuming that his clientele are not paying that much attention to weighted averages. There we go. Sir Tim, knighted in 2024 in the New Year's honours, urged people to take official health advice with a large pinch of salt. No! Salt's even worse than drinking! I hadn't spotted that bit when I flicked through that story before. I'm glad we got there. Chris Hood says, yay, I should live forever then. Well, it's because the only thing you're doing with your water is putting it in your whiskey. And Proper Meme says, didn't realise Steve Bannon owns spoons. Yeah, he's got the look, hasn't he? He's a big Trump fan. Not necessarily Donald, but he's got the look of a Trump fan. The breaking wind. We're at breaking wind jokes on the show. That's where we got to. This used to be an actual broadcast radio show, and I clipped it into a podcast, and after they sold that radio station, now look what I've ended up doing. I wanted to teach Taylor a lesson by spraying jet, says JSO activist. I've had a drink of a JSO once, and nope, it's a different thing. There is the story. Just stop all, that's what it is. Activist hoped Taylor Swift would be shaken from her apathy and speak about climate change if orange paint was sprayed on a private jet, a court heard. I know it's a court case. I'll get away with saying some of these things. I don't think Taylor Swift cleans her own jet. I don't think anyone with a private jet cleans their own jet. So I don't think it'd touch the sides. Do you know what I mean? If you want to shake someone from their apathy, getting someone they employ to have to do something for them, if anything, it just calcifies the apathy, doesn't it? Also, if you're spraying anything in orange, do it to Donald Trump. It would be funnier, like we said earlier. And also, look at this. It was at Stansted Airport. And that's the other thing about the Donald Trump visit that we've not talked about. He landed into Stansted Airport. And even if you are a left-leaning, you know, those people on Blue Sky have been saying mean things about Charlie Kirk. If you're that kind of lefty, I think you'd still feel sorry for Donald Trump for having to go through Stansted. Look, you might not like the guy, but this is still the leader of the free world. He's still the president of the United States of America. Give him a proper airport, not one of those airports. Have you been to Stansted? Where you land and then you've got like a half-hour coach ride from the plane to the terminal. Now, I tried to go through the E-gates once, and I was there for about 3 days. So, and then when you get out, you're in Stansted. None of it is a win. The only thing I think we can be grateful for is that we didn't send him to Luton Airport. If we'd have done that, there'd be a war. And I would say, if we'd have sent him to Luton Airport, I would have sided with the Americans. So much to try and get through. There we are. Here's a story for you. I just need a little... Can't quite zoom in on this one, but you can take it. Microchip in. A chip shop is using artificial intelligence to take customer orders. The Nippy Chippy, which again, is good. There's a lot of puns in this title. Chip being both... Oh, that fell off. Chip being both... I'm doing a Theresa May. The backdrop is falling down around me. Chip being both computer chip and like silicon chip and chip, but also nippy. Could be a place where you expected some topless stuff. That would have been a better story because I don't think ordering when you go into a fish and chip shop is the bottleneck in society's productivity. You know what I mean? It's great that AI is there. It created the theme tune to this podcast, which we all thought we'd mock, and actually it's better than anything I could do, so I just left it. It created the jingle, did the logo that we use streaming. But I don't think we need it to take the orders more efficiently in fish and chip shops, because unless it's also cooking the chips, you ain't getting out any quicker. All that it means is you don't have to talk to the person working in the fish and chip shop, which actually it's a bit of a win. So maybe I'll take it back. How about this one? This is there's a picture of a young person on a phone, if that helps you. Kids in vampire lifestyle. Britain is breeding a nation of vampire kids. Why would we do such a thing? It seems foolish. But what they mean is Gen Z youngsters are spending days inside without sunlight as they're so hooked on streaming and social media. And what bothers me about this story is that's not what a vampire is it? We've got a word for that, hermit, yeah? Hermits. They stay indoors a lot. There's the word you're looking for. We're breeding hermit kids. Vampires, known for other stuff. I think if you were to list the things that are synonymous with a vampire, top of the shop's drinking blood, isn't it? That's the weirder thing. No one forgets that vampires do that. And then some of them turn into bats and can fly. They're immortal. That's quite a big deal. Quite low down on the list is they don't get out much, do they? And I think if you need a metaphor for someone who doesn't get out much, vampires are reach. That's what I'm saying. That's my problem. Do you know what? While we're doing problems with news stories, where is it? Bear with, because found it. Look at that. Holds a flipping surprise. This is in Science News. And the first pictured black hole, 55 million light years from Earth, is surprising space boffins. It's the Daily Star. They use the word boffins. It's like getting bullied at school again when I was good at science. Oh, nerds. And we eventually took the word nerd back. It was our N word. But it doesn't really have the same impact, I'll give you that. But it became cool to be a nerd. I went through that phase of there'd be like glass. People would buy glasses with no glass in them just for the frames because nerdy chic was in. And that bothered me because you were just buying the glasses. Do the work. Read the books. Do the degree. You can't just go, oh, look at me, I've got nerd chic. You're cosplaying as someone who enjoys science. But data from the supermassive black hole at the center of galaxy M87, you know that one, famous for its fuzzy orange donut, don't do the Trump jokes, Image in 2019 shows its magnetic field is reversing. So look, earlier on, surprising space boffins by flipping its gravitational field showed its magnetic field reversing. You magnetic field or gravitational field, which one is it, Daily Star? Maybe don't pick on boffins for being boffins when you don't know the difference between magnets and the Earth, you big dumb. Well, anyway. Don't know, I'm getting upset about that one. By the way, I should say now you can donate money on the Ko-fi because clearly the backdrop is falling down. If we just get rid of this. Look, it was only stuck up there with command strips, but this is my soundproof backdrop that makes me look like I'm in a weird place. The wall's identical. I really shouldn't have put any of them on there. But feel free to donate to my command strip fund. While we're doing sci-fi, James Cameron is struggling to write new Terminator movie as we're living in a science fiction age, he says. And I get where he's coming from. Back in the day, in the 80s, when the Terminator came out, our technology then was kind of Walkmans. One gets crushed in the film, actually. And that was about it, wasn't it? So the idea of a robot that can do all those things, fanciful. These days, AI can take fish and chip orders. It's amazing. If you want to make a film that's based on science fiction, something that your average punter would watch and go, there's no way that could happen, and make a film about a Wi-Fi printer that works first time. Oh, come on. I would suspend my disbelief a bit, but this guy. Cavemen. No, I have to go big on this. Cavemen were not the heroic hunters legend suggests after Stone Age tools were discovered buried alongside women. You get a feeling there'd be a bit in that relationship where, there we go, where the caveman in Ugg language would have been like, you wanted equality, darling, you go out there and get your own food. What? It's your turn. And there's a similar thing that happens in my relationship that, in general, it's me that does the bins. I do the bins. I'm good at the bins. And for some reason, my missus hates it when I buy bin liners that exactly fit the bin. If anything, they're a little bit on the tight side. They're difficult to put in, but when it comes to lift them out, perfect. No air suction, nothing getting snagged. But she likes the looser bin liner. It's just easy to cram in there. But then, of course, it just expands that little bit. And when you try and pull it out, all the rubbish gets caught on the lip of the bin, rips the bit, everything goes everywhere. So I do the bin. Other than like the 1 in 100 times when maybe I'm changing nappies or something. And so she does the bin. She's like, no, it's all right, I'll do it. And she always thinks it'll be absolutely a walk in the park to do. And I've never seen her come back in from doing the bin without being furious at the world. So I imagine that what this is like. No, you take the tools and go and kill a wildebeest. Comes back and there'll be an argument that night over the fire. Cave women probably got the tools in the divorce, says Proper Memes. Good point, well made. Alex says, who would want to go outside in the UK weather anyway? Yeah, not vampires. That's a good point. Suckers comments, big tech representative. Yep. AI industry has bigger fish to fry. I like it. Did we talk about this was it in the radio show, by the way, All Hit Radio, every day from 1? It might have been in the radio show where there was a news story about we're being told to eat, what was it? It was brown prawns, something or other, plaice, and there were different types of fish. And the advice was we should be eating less well-known fish. Plaice is the most common fish. And did we do this on the podcast? We'll talk about that in a second. Everyone knows plaice. Most fish shops, if it's not the Codfather, has a plaice pun in the title. The place that sells fish has the word plaice in it. We already know about that. Jack, who's just tuned in, says, do you have pyjama? Are you saying, is this shirt a pyjama? Maybe I've got slightly too many buttons undone. Or do I have pyjama? I don't fully understand that. Do I have pyjamas? No. Am I wearing pyjamas? Well, implied by the first answer, no. Is this shirt pyjama? Is a pyjama a singular? I don't really know the difference between trousers and a trouser. Do I have just the one pyjama? Would that just be half of it? Brits could be left without their favourite satellite TV channels in just 5 years' time. Disaster. Actually, this is worrying because a deadline of 2030 is looming for Sky and Freesat users as the current 3 satellites will reach the end of their lives. And I know there's I only know of the 2 satellites. In the old TV that I used to have when I lived in the old place, we had a satellite dish on the wall, and I managed to get into the settings of the TV, and you could pick the satellite, and the frequency and the polarity and stuff and get the TV channels that weren't on the EPG, on the electronic program guide. And you know which ones I'm talking about. I was a younger man. Got all of those extra channels. Not all stations are just for babes, but there were many options. And so I didn't realize there were 3 different satellites, but they're coming out the sky, are they? Because in the new place that I live, it was last year we had the satellite dish put on. What's the point of that? What have I got? What am I meant to do with it? Do I have to use Freeview? I'll just use Freeview, actually. You're right. It's not a disaster, is it? I'll just use Freeview. That crisis suddenly got averted. More Brits are dining out alone to escape their partners and kids, according to, didn't even need research, just obvious. According to obvious. The number of solo eaters has jumped by nearly a quarter in the past 5 years. Yeah. 37% do it to treat themselves, while more than 20% go alone to avoid any interruptions. Oh, it's the same reason I poo on my own. It's the same reason let's not get into that. When people say you should eat more fibre, I don't know if I should. I don't want to be in and out of there quicker. It's the only time you get any time to yourself, isn't it? Because with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old, love him, but there is... He wants to follow me around all the time, which is absolutely great. But even when he's like, I'll go and nip upstairs for a shower after going for a run. Can I come? Oh, why? You'll just be banging on the window and stuff. But I do get to sneak out there when it's poop time, because it's the one room that's got a lockable door on the inside. Quite often there's this meme, this trope of men taking ages in the toilet because there's the lock on the inside. And it's the one place where it's the one room in the house where no one's going to get us to do a thing. Oh, could you just... You just relax, let it all out. So yeah, of course. Alex says no more Babe Station. Is that not on Freeview? Because at the moment we don't have Freeview. Also, I'm an old man and cannot be bothered. Even the whole concept doesn't work for me anymore. As a younger man, the titillation may have been entertaining, but I don't want to speak to someone on the phone. Can they just text? Is it fun if you just sit there and just send them a message? Oh, I can't pick up right now. Just, Proper Meme says it's the one room in the house where a man sits on the throne and feels like a king. Yes, sir. Yes. That's why they call it the throne, isn't it? Bad news, everybody. Randy Spiders, which, great film from Mars, set to invade festive homes. Oh, no. A swarm of supersized spiders will invade British homes over the festive season, making it not so merry Christmas. Didn't need all that, did we? I used to live in Kent, and the size of the spiders down there have cauterized me for other spiders. I know people go, oh, there's a massive spider, and it's not like that big. I'm like, no, mate, you want to... When I lived in Kent, you get around to October time, and I used to work in loads, go at home, turn on the light, and there'd be like a spider this big, like big hairy legs on the wall. And because you switch it on, switch the light on, whoa, you see it, and then it'd run over and just turn the light off. Didn't want to be disturbed. The thing was huge. I honestly once tried to take a picture of one next to a 50p to show how big it was, but it was around the time they'd just changed the coinage. So, it's not as, or it's more impressive, isn't it? Because no one knows which 50p you were putting next to it. It really is. It's not the unit of measurement we should be using. They shouldn't have changed the size of the 50p because there are so many archive pictures that were really using that for good scale. But anyway, apparently, folks will see a spike in 8-legged arachnids. Aren't all arachnids 8-legged? Tautology. And you think gravitational and magnetic's the same, you bunch of dumb. Under the Christmas tree, you're going to see these big things. Apparently, they come inside to breed, and it's very nice of them to ask, but I'm not into that. So, no thanks. I know I'm a leg man, but it's not about quantity. This one definitely won't fit, is what I said to the spider. Revealed after 190 years, right way to make cheese on toast. So this, how is that still too zoomed in? For many, there is nothing like a splash of Worcestershire sauce to elevate cheese on toast, but it will come as a surprise to those who like to douse the sauce on top that they've been doing it wrong all along. Aren't you sick of these stories of you've been doing X, Y, and Z wrong? You've been washing your clothes all wrong. You've been breathing in and out all wrong. I've got to this age on it. Maybe back off, internet. Leave me be for it. Experts at Worcester sauce maker Lee and Perrins have updated their packaging to explicitly advise consumers how it should be done. I'm kind of interested now. As much as I was mocking this as being the dumbest story ever done. Labels now instruct people to put the savoury flavouring on top of the bread under the cheese. Yeah. They say this means that the bread soaks up. Yeah, that's the point, though, isn't it? Part of what you like about it is that weird patch where it doesn't quite melt the cheese the same. You just kind of get soggy bread, aren't you? The fat of the cheese, the aqueous layer of the Worcestershire sauce. Nah, mate. That's written by the kind of idiot that thinks magnetic and gravitational is the same. And they're not. Magnetic is part of the electromagnetic force, which back in the early days of the universe was the same as the weak nuclear force. Is that right? But gravitational, what are you talking about? Bunch of thick. Best story ever, by the way. Not sure how much we can fit in. This one, we should have left this one to the end. We'll leave that one to the end. Proper Meme says, I saw Randy Spiders live back in 78 Butlins. Is the one... Oh, no, we've done that one. And Shirley Ballas is in the news. Strictly head judge. She's the head judge. She doesn't judge heads. Strictly head judge Ballas. She only judges heads, and that's why they call her strictly head judge. She watches those adult sites and gives people pointers. Is fed up with people accusing her of having a facelift. Let's have a look. Yeah. The 65-year-old has had 7 months of non-surgical nitrogen plasma treatments. Right. So what's going on here? Because I think this is a humble brag, isn't it? This is her saying, "Oh, I hate it when people think I look so good. It must be surgery." This is like when you work with people and they're like, "Oh, I had a nightmare on the way in. Tried to buy some wine and got age checked. Don't you pretend it's a complaint. You're just showing off that you look old. You look young." I'm so old that for some reason, I don't know how, no part of the internet has asked me to age verify yet. I don't know what I've done wrong. I don't know how haggard I must be, that somehow they've got access to the webcams. Maybe they've just seen this show. But all websites seem to be saying to me, yeah, you don't need to prove your age. Twitter has not asked me to prove my age. So anyway, she's had not surgery, but nitrogen plasma treatments, which I think is the thing that makes the cars in Fast and the Furious go so quickly. But she posted pictures celebrating a recent birthday and complained at the same time. Oh, everyone's saying I must have had some work done. Life's hard when you're Shirley Ballas. Proper Meme says in other news, Shirley Ballas has a beard. Let's have a look. Because I missed Lily Allen's lack of top. Is there a beard in there? I think that might just be shadow. I'm back. Did I miss much? Says, oh, thanks for leaving, Chris Hood. Thanks for that. All you missed is... Most Brits feel unsafe on the streets after dark. Shock research. Is it shock research? You feel unsafe at night? Yeah. 7 in 10 adults said they worried on nights out. 60% cut their evening short to avoid heading home late. Almost half... This is the bit. Is this showing? Almost half of women have been followed by a creep. This is according to a taxi hailer. Wow. That's bleak, isn't it? I know a lot of these things in tabloids are surveys commissioned entirely to promote a company. So it's often like, what's your favourite biscuit? According to a research paid for by McVitie's, right? That's how these things go. But how scared of being abducted and attacked are you, according to a why don't you take a taxi instead firm? That is bleak. But half of women have been followed by a creep. Are they saying there are as many creeps in the country as there are half of women? So just over 50% of the population, let's call it 50. We're 70 million, are we? So we're getting on for 70 million. Let's call it 60, just because we're rounding down. So 30 million creeps. Yeah, it checks out. Proper Meme says, ironically, they also spend most of their time in a dark bedroom. Well, you want to be a vampire, you got to commit to the role. Can't be bothered to do that one. Oh, interesting. I'll go back to some Trump news, just because of this. Around half of Brits, which I believe are all creeps, Half of Brits believe it was wrong to invite Donald Trump to the UK for his second state visit. Some 45% said it was the wrong move for Sir Keir Starmer, according to a poll not done by any kind of pest removal company. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to get in the newspapers as a pest removal company, if you were Raid, whoever makes the spray, you should commission this. That would have been funny. Right? Green voters the most adamant that Trump should not be here. Well, they didn't like him flying in, did they? If he'd have got a boat, that'd be different. 64% of Reform voters think it was the right move. That's surprisingly low, isn't it? If you are one of those people who's upset about Donald Trump being here or getting a second state visit, because most presidents don't, it's not like he's just in his second term, consecutive term, so it's a bit different. Plus also, we swapped monarch. We did a lot of this. He's never had a state visit with a king. He's had 2 state visits rather than like, oh, a second one is a massive honour. It's like, oh, the Queen died. This guy, the new one, wasn't even paying attention. And also, the state visit is all about just keeping people happy so we get some trade deals and stuff, isn't it? It's pomp and circumstance and all that. Nothing to do with us. No, we low-life ones, nothing to do with us. It's people up there doing it. So don't feel too bad about it. Getting this, yeah, no one needs the rest. Well, okay, actually, we'll do this one. Before we do the Usain Bolt one. Chris, by the way, says, which half of a woman is being followed? I think you know. Don't you? Ross in Baldy tax sob. Millionaire Ross Kemp said being bald means he can't claim haircuts from the tax man. Firstly, they're right to point out the millionaire thing. You could afford, even if you had to pay for your haircuts, you could afford it. Come on. But he said, when I left EastEnders, I went to ITV, they called it a golden handcuffs deal. I was paid £1 million a year to make television, a considerable amount, and I paid a considerable amount of tax on it too, and there wasn't much I could claim back. Here's the thing, though. You weren't getting haircuts, so you shouldn't have been claiming back the haircuts. You weren't spending the money. You were up on the deal. If you pay for a haircut and claim the tax back on it, you only get the tax back. You lower your earnings that you're paying tax on, right? You still pay for the damn heck. You were getting away with free. Oh, people bother me. Do you know what bothers me? The people who actually get haircuts, they shouldn't be allowed to claim them back either. Because I get to claim back some clothing, because I do stand-up comedy. Clearly not this one, because some idiots think it's pyjamas. But the stuff I wear on stage, I can claim. If you buy one outfit just to wear on stage, you can claim that. Right? It's well known. And you can't claim all of your clothes because you wear them in everyday life. I suppose if I lived my life where I was dressed on stage and thoroughly nude everywhere else, then I could claim, I guess. But I'd be turning the heating on more, and I think I'd be making more, I'd be losing money on that deal. Proper Meme says maybe he gets a full head shave every day. Do you reckon he's got a full head of hair, but it's just a character for him? Wouldn't put it past him. But if you're getting your hair cut and you're claiming it because you're on TV, you're also benefiting from that in your everyday life. You should only be able to claim, a fifth of the haircut because you're on stage that much or something. No, it bothers me. The whole thing bothers me. We'll end on this one then. And thank you for all of the... Oh, Ed Davey is boycotting Trump, says Alex. Oh my God, that is the funniest thing, isn't it? Can you really if you're Ed Davey, can you really boycott? I know he would have been invited to a bit of it, but, this is like me boycotting a thing and realising no one will know I'm not there. Come on, Ed Davey, no offence, but you could boycott the Lib Dems Christmas party, and I don't think anyone would notice. So the idea that somehow Trump's going to be impacted by this, I mean, you do you. He said boycotting the Trump thing. He's off to flipping Alton Towers, isn't he? Because he's worked out how to enjoy life. He's straight to the front of the queue at the teacups. He's doing that, and everyone's happy. Right, so the best story to end on. Fastest man in history, Usain Bolt, says he loses his breath when he walks upstairs and doesn't like running. That delightful story again. Usain Bolt is now out of shape. He can't walk upstairs without losing his breath. He don't like running anymore because he's getting older. And it's not gleeful schadenfreude. This is just nice to know that I'm now faster than the fastest man in history. Boom. Because I can walk upstairs. Well, I also get out of breath, but I can walk upstairs. And he might still be faster than me now, but he's older than me, and his knees must be absolutely done. And you'd see what he used to do for a living. So he'll be in an absolute state. I rate 3 times a week I go out for a run. He don't like running. He don't like running. So at some point, I will be faster than the world's fastest man. Boom! A win! It's not about training and working hard. It's about timing, isn't it? It's not just comedy. It's about running is also about timing. What's that old quote? If you wait long enough, the bodies of your enemy will... If you wait by the bank, wait by the river. If you say bank, people think you mean a bank. Wait by the river long enough, the bodies of your enemy will float on by. Unless you're at the wrong part of the river. Don't hang around near ponds, for the lakes won't do it. But generally, there's a point. If you wait long enough. And through my career, I've heard a lot of splashing and no one's come by yet. But still, I'm waiting. And at some point, I will be faster than the world's fastest man. And if you're a bit older than me and you don't think you can do the same, maybe aim for someone like Roger Bannister. He was the first one. Not Rogers Bannister. That's either the name of someone's banister or what someone does to a banister. Roger Bannister was the first guy to do the 4-minute mile. He can't do that now. So there you go. You win. Congratulations. So that's all we were trying to get sorted out on today's show. You can see the reason I need to raise funds. You can subscribe to the Substack. Throw some money in there if you want. Substack.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. Just chuck some dosh in the Ko-fi. Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. No, at there. I will be sticking that back up for tomorrow's episode. Speaking of which, tonight, 11 o'clock on GB News, reviewing the news, very much like this, but not wearing my pyjamas. The upstream position doesn't work. I think this is Chris talking about waiting for the bodies to float by, or this is a Babe Station reference that I do not get. And so tonight, 11, and tomorrow at 11, reviewing the news on GB News. Saturday, I'm doing a stand-up comedy gig in Battersea. Track me down for details. There are details. Oh, just Google it. You know how the internet works. But it looks like a good one. Should be doing that. And then I'm not working on Sunday. So didn't know I mentioned it. Other than that, you're fully up to date. Social media, me at Mr. Stephen Allen. You can email direct with anything for the next episode, me at mrstephenallen.co.uk. And I think we're just about sorted. So till next time.